All right, you guys, welcome back to the DM and Friends. I am DM Angelo, and I'm going to continue my series on how to be a better dungeon master. And today I want to talk about something that a lot of people either don't do anymore or they actually just avoid, and that's old school mapping. And yeah, I know some people hear that and immediately think that it's busy work or it's homework, but if you cut mapping out of your game, you quietly will remove one of the biggest sources of tension and player skill in old school D&D. So let's talk about why it matters and how it actually works and how to use it in your game without killing your table. So first, let's clear something up. You know, old school mapping is not these three things. It's not pretty battle maps. It's not pre-drawn dungeon layouts or a DM, showing players the perfect floor plan. Old school mapping is players recording what they think the dungeon looks like based on your description as a dungeon master. That distinction is going to matter. And because the map doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be believed. So in old school games, the dungeon itself is a challenge, right? So not just the monsters, not just the traps, navigation is a challenge. And where are we? They'll say, well, how do we get back? Or did we miss something? Or is that the same corridor that we just went down? Mapping creates risk, decision-making, tension, and the fear of being lost. And the fear of being lost, guys, is way more powerful than the fear of hit point loss, in my opinion. So the biggest mistakes that DMs make with mapping are this. And here's what a lot of DMs do, I think, that screw this up. They overcorrect. They say, I don't want my players to get frustrated, so I'll just give them a map. Well, once you do that, the dungeon becomes a hallway combat simulator. And no orientation, no uncertainty, no consequences, for bad navigation. Yeah, you turn exploration into just sightseeing, and that's dull. So I think that mapping is a player skill and not a character skill, right? So this is important. Mapping is not about, intelligence scores, skill checks, or perception rolls, or whatever you guys want to call it. It's about player attention, right? Listening, asking questions, clarifying the distances, tracking turns and intersections. That's old school play. The players who map well survive longer, not because they're lucky, but because they're careful. And so how do you describe for mapping without being a jerk, right? So now this is on the DM too. So your descriptions need to be, as a DM, need to be consistent, clear, and repeatable, right? You don't need poetry when you're describing, the corridor and the hallway and the intersection. You just need direction, distance, and shape. That's all. That's literally it. 30 feet east, 10 feet wide, ends in a T-junction. Boom. However they'll map it from there. Boom, boom, boom. I've seen where players will get a piece of graph paper and grid it out, the 10-foot halls, everything's 10 by 10 by 10. Or I've seen players, and I've had one player named Robert in my group who was the greatest at mapping, and he would just draw lines. And that was super effective for the group. And that was done in a face-to-face campaign game that I had. I know that it's tough for somebody to map on an online game, but on face-to-face game, man, it's mandatory. Make them map. And so however they do it, as long as you're clear with your descriptions, that's enough. That is enough. 30 feet east, 10 feet wide, ends in a T-junction. That's enough. If the players ask clarifying questions, answer them. That's part of the game. And it's not a disruption. So here's something that's really cool. Let the map be wrong sometimes. This is their interpretation of your clear description, right? So here's the part that's going to scare people. Like the map should sometimes, it should be wrong. Because people make mistakes in real life. They miscount, they misunderstand. And when the party realizes the map doesn't quite line up, that's not failure. That's tension. Tension. I talk about it all the time. You want tension in your game. Do we press on, they say? Do we backtrack? Did we miss a secret? Are we lost? Those moments are gold when you're doing dungeon exploration. And you can capitalize on that as a DM. You can really kind of double click on those moments, and it'll create good tension for your table, trust me. So mapping also it creates real consequences. We talk about consequences all the time too. So when players map, time is going to matter again. Light sources are going to matter. Wandering monsters are going to matter. Getting lost means, more turns, more rolls, more danger, more wandering monsters. Torches go out. That's not punishment, you guys. That is the dungeon working as intended. The dungeon isn't balanced. It's hostile, 100%. You don't go down to a dungeon because it's a happy-go-lucky area. It's a living, breathing entity in your game that is, bottom line, it's hostile, and it has real consequences and real things going on. So here's a good question that I like to talk about, and it's up to let me just talk about it. So who should map in the game, right? Obviously not the DM. If you're playing face-to-face, I just talked about not handing them a sheet. I mean, that's crazy talk. Who should map? Short answer, one player with the help from others. It could be a team effort, but one player is actually jotting down the map. And you'll see everybody leaning over the table, and they'll be like, yeah, no, that doesn't look right, blah, blah. That's what you want as a DM. You want that. You want this stuff. So they can rotate this if they want, or let someone own it. The mapper becomes an important role at the table, not a background task. It's a responsibility. And, the players will figure it out. I mean, if you make it matter in your game, they're going to figure it out. They're going to elect somebody to do it. They're going to do it as a group, or however they're going to do it. But as long as they map, and yeah, sometimes they're going to screw up. Like I said, that's part of the fun. That is part of the fun. So mapping without slowing the game down. If you're worried about pacing, here's a trick. Don't stop play for mapping. Let mapping happen during play, right? You describe, they jot, you move on. You don't need to double check them all the time. Give them clear, direct descriptions, and then leave, drop. And then if they come back later and say, oh my God, this doesn't look right, well, they're lost. You describe, they jot, you move on. Use that formula, easy peasy. And if the group bogs down arguing about inches or just redirect them. This isn't engineering. It's survival. You can step in at those spots, but it's really fun to see a group come together and talk about, interpret your descriptions. It's super cool. So why modern play lost this, and why you don't as a DM, you don't have to, right? So a lot of modern play removed mapping because digital tools made it easy. And I struggle with this because I have a game that's online, and I'm really kind of thinking how I can get this this in. And this video is really for me, because I'm going to try to figure out how I can kind of add that tension to the group. So digital tools just made it super easy. I bring up something that's a fog of war. There it is. And that's I know you guys all can relate to that. So groups, and and the other thing is groups wanted faster combat, and exploration became optional, right? How is exploration optional? Well, it really is in modern games. But old school mapping isn't about nostalgia. It's about engagement. Players who map are paying attention. They're invested. I mean, I will guarantee if you got somebody mapping at the table, everybody else is looking too. And everybody else is kind of getting, and that's super, that's your engagement is right here. Without it, dude, it brings the engagement way up, way up. And they care. They're going to care where they're at. And that's a win. For any DM, that is a freaking win. So if your dungeon final thoughts here. So, if your dungeon never disorients the party, and if they never know exactly where they are, if getting lost is impossible, then exploration is not doing its job. Okay? Let the players map. Let them be wrong. Let them get lost. That's where the tension in your game is going to live. All right, you guys. That's it for today. That is old school mapping in a kind of a nutshell. You know, if this helped you guys, please hit that like button. It really, really helps the videos, my channel, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Share it with another DM because I want to get this out as wide as I can. I want to help as many DMs as I can. I want to see everybody mapping. I want to see every table I walk by at a con, I want to see them map. And share it with you guys. Share it amongst the community. And just pass the word on mapping. As always, you guys, keep gaming, take care, and see you all next time. Bye-bye.